If you like gold boxing, then you know that there are timeless exponents for their strength and skill in the ring. One of them is the Iron Boy, the youngest heavyweight champion in history, the undisputed champion, the Beast, Iron Mike Tyson. Although his personal life was filled with ups and downs, for a long time, there was no rival who could match him in the honorable fighting ring. That's why, in today's video, we pay tribute to the power of a living legend, a compilation that will make you feel like you're in a carnival of destruction, where each season is only more bloodthirsty and violent than the last. I recommend discretion. The images you are about to see are not suitable for the faint of heart. Mike Tyson versus Jesse Ferguson. Let's begin our journey of destruction on February 16, 1986, when Tyson still held his undefeated record and marched into the ring at Renssalaer Polytechnic Institute in Troy, New York, with an impeccable record of 17 knockout victories. Waiting for him in the other corner was none other than Jesse Ferguson, a fighter who wasn't necessarily the easiest to beat, in theory. With a professional record of 14 wins, 10 of them achieved by knockout, he had only tasted the bitter taste of defeat on one previous occasion. Iron Mike was tasked with repeating that feat. Throughout the fight, Tyson was able to gain the upper hand thanks to his powerful hooks to the body and lethal uppercuts to the head. Ferguson fought with his back against the ropes for much of the first half of the first round. He sought to block Tyson's reckless punches and occasionally landed some of his own in the final minute.
The corner and onto the ropes, and then counter with left hooks off the ropes.
Then have some of Tyson's 12 first-round knockout victims, but now
even in the amateurs, Mike Tyson can throw great body shots. He takes what you
standing still and allowing Tyson to
what makes Tyson so special. He threw a tremendous left hook.
Tyson continued to pound Ferguson's body throughout the second round. Much of the third round was the much-anticipated close-quarters combat, with Tyson outmaneuvering Ferguson, who remained on the ropes. However, Ferguson landed a good flurry midway through the round that pushed Mike's head back.
Now we're told that
Tyson would not try to weight Tyson. Good right.
At the start of the fourth round, Ferguson, overwhelmed by the intensity of Mike's offense, grabbed both of Tyson's arms and accused him of landing low blows. Ironically, he was the one who ended up getting booked for pushing his head forward and grabbing Tyson from behind the head. Blinded by frustration, Ferguson threw a pair of punches after the bell to close out the round, to which Tyson responded with a pair of his own. The two had to be separated, and Ferguson was taken to his corner by his trainer. Ferguson landed a serious jab early in the fifth round and tried to stay close enough to cushion Tyson's power. Mike clawed his way to victory by backing away or sidelining and landing body shots. A tenacious right hook and right uppercut combination at 2 minutes, 14 seconds broke Ferguson's nose and sent him sprawling on his back.
Was in trouble in both the first and 10th rounds, and now he's in trouble here. Blood coming out.
After getting up at the count of 8, he was punished by Mike for the remainder of the round, with the referee closely monitoring his reactions. Ferguson came out hiding behind his weak jabs in the 6th round before Mike pressed him against the ropes and landed crushing blows to the head. Ferguson began clinch-bound and refused to let go. He was subsequently warned at 1 minute, 3 seconds for this. Just a couple of seconds later, Ferguson grabbed both of Tyson's gloves and once again refused to let the referee separate them. At this, Luis Rivera waved his arm above his head and disqualified him. A humiliating exit, but it's better to say here he ran than here he died. Mike Tyson versus Reggie Gross. If we move forward a little further, specifically to June 13th of the same year, 1986, we will come across a Mike Tyson whose undefeated record amounted to 21 victories, 19 of them claimed by knockout, entering the legendary Madison Square Garden ring to face none other than Reggie Gross. Gross, with a professional record of 18 wins, 12 of them by knockout and 4 losses, was coming off a unanimous decision loss to Henry Tillman and was hoping to rectify that slump in his career by defeating the Iron Man. He couldn't have chosen a worse candidate for his comeback. Undefeated heavyweight Mike Tyson knocked down Reggie Gross twice and stopped him in the first round, was the phrase that dominated most sports headlines the following morning. Tyson and Gross were in the center of the ring when Gross decided to become the weatherman and unleashed a surprising barrage of powerful punches, a couple of which landed on Mike's head. Far from intimidating him, this seemed to affect his brain chemistry in the best possible way, and the Iron Man took advantage of a pause made by Gross to connect with a left hook with enough power to send him to continue his rest lying on the canvas. Gross struggled to his feet at the count of 7, only to be quickly dropped by 2 more deadly left hooks. If you don't know the meaning of the word masochism, you might like to know that Gross provided the ultimate example by getting up for the second time, this time at the count of 8, but the referee took pity on him and prevented him from stumbling over the same stone by stopping the fight, showing that, in addition to being a masochist, he also had shades of ungrateful. Gross found no better reaction than to get angry at the referee for making that decision and push him away from him. After the massacre he was a part of, and not in the best way, he must have felt relieved to have the big heavyweight off his back. Mike Tyson versus Lorenzo Boyd. Jumping slightly, the next victim on Tyson's body list was Lorenzo Boyd. On July 11, 1986, with a professional record of 23 wins, 21 of them by knockout, Mike stepped into the ring at the Stevensville Hotel in Swan Lake, New York, ranked number 2 in the World Boxing Council heavyweight division, to experience what was, in retrospect, considered preparation for Tyson's fight against Marvis Frazier. Proving that his fists are indeed made of iron, Mike broke Boyd's nose in the first round before scoring a brutal knockout at 1 minute, 43 seconds of the second round. From the start of the fight, Boyd was punished with severe hooks to the body, so he never had a real opportunity to mount any kind of attack.
By Kevin Rooney, co-managed by Jim Jacobs and Bill Clayton. Good right uppercut at Oklahoma State. Right now he backs off from a sharp right uppercut to the body by Tyson again.
Tyson closed out the night with a resounding right hook to the body, capped by a right uppercut under the chin that sent Boyd on a full throttle trip straight to the canvas, landing heavily on his back. The referee reached the 8 count before calling it a day, with Boyd still on the ground. Reggie Gross must have felt lucky he wasn't allowed to get to that point. Mike Tyson versus Marvis Frazier. And since we're talking about it, on July 26, 1986, with an impressive undefeated record of 24 wins, 22 of them achieved by his remarkable punching power, Tyson stepped into the ring at the Civic Center in Glens Falls, New York, to face Marvis Frazier. Frazier, whose professional record was 16 wins, of which only 7 had been recorded by knockout, had already tasted the bitter taste of defeat once, a tragedy orchestrated by Larry Holmes in the first round, and Jesse Ferguson's formula seemed to be repeating itself. Mike repeated as the World Boxing Council's number 2 heavyweight contender, while Frazier was ranked 9th by that organization and 4th by the International Boxing Federation. Fight summary. Proving that he took every opportunity he got in the ring to outdo himself, Mike landed a devastating right uppercut to knock out Frazier 30 seconds into a scheduled 10-round bout. After standing in the center of the ring, Mike surprised Frazier with a swift right hand that landed almost in unison with the opening bell. After forcing him into the corner, Tyson ruthlessly attacked Marvis with an uppercut that left him with no option but to fall to the canvas.
Uppercut, and Marvis is hurt.
Frazier is down.
Referee Joe Cortez counted to 5 before calling the fight over. Mike Tyson versus Jose Ribalta. On August 17, 1986, Tyson was honored as the World Boxing Association's number 1 heavyweight contender and the World Boxing Council's number 2 heavyweight contender at the Trump Plaza Hotel in Atlantic City, New Jersey. There he was met by Jose Ribalta, the World Boxing Association's number 8 heavyweight contender, who held a professional record of 22 wins, 15 by knockouts, 3 losses, and 1 previous draw. Tyson knocked Ribalta down 3 times before stopping him in the 10th and final round. Mike used his lethal right hook to the body, a powerful combination of right uppercuts in the second, and a left hook that sent him to the canvas halfway along the ropes and to the floor in the 8th.
He's inside, not to try to exchange punch for punch. He can't do that at all times.
Big right hand again, but because he's not running like Green did or staying on. He did.
Mike Tyson is inviting.
And there was an uppercut. What a shot.
There is no spring.
And there's a smashing left hand.
At the start of the 10th round, Tyson knocked Ribalta down with a left hook. After Ribalta got up at the 4th count, Mike unleashed a vicious flurry of clean hooks to the head that forced referee Ruddy Battle to stop the fight.
Oh, what a shot! And Ribalta's down. Yeah, hell yeah. That's a fighter.
This was Ribalta's second career knockout loss, and Mike was able to demonstrate that he was not only a powerful puncher, but also a fighter with the stamina to carry him into the final round with good energy. Mike Tyson versus Ratliff. Entering the final quarter of the year on September 6, 1986, Mike's professional record already stood at 26 wins, having achieved 24 of these by knockout, and the race to find a worthy opponent to inflict his first defeat became much more serious. In the ring at the Las Vegas Hilton, Alfonso Ratliff, with a modest professional record of 21 wins, 16 of them by knockout, 3 losses, and a previous draw, tried his luck by trying to beat the man who was positioned as the #1 heavyweight contender by the World Boxing Association and #2 by the World Boxing Council, while he was ranked 20th in the latter organization. This brief introduction to the fight alone should give you a clue as to how it ended. Tyson hounded Ratliff throughout the first round before landing a brutal left uppercut early in the second that sent him straight to the canvas.
There was a right hand by Tyson. A left and a right behind it.
Ratliff managed to get back to his feet at the count of 9, only for Tyson to pounce on him again, unleashing flurries of punches as he tried to escape along the ropes. A deadly right hook rocked Ratliff again, and Tyson followed with a series of punches, the last of them a lethal left hook, which knocked him down again. Now, the #20 contender was down on all fours against the #2 contender, which is why referee Davey Pearl stopped the fight without even bothering to start the safety count.
Pearl looking very closely. Not it. And that's all. It's over.
Mike Tyson versus Trevor Berbick. If you think you've seen all the levels of destruction a fighter of Mike Tyson's stature can wreak, let me take you back to November 22, 1986, so you can witness how, in the ring at the Las Vegas Hilton, Iron Mike became the youngest heavyweight champion in the world. Trevor Berbick had just won the World Boxing Council heavyweight title, and it was time for his defenses to begin. Unfortunately for him, his opponent was none other than Mike Tyson, hungry for glory and thirsty for history. To take the crown from Berbick, Tyson knocked him down twice, both in the second round, hitting him so hard that he staggered around the ring at the end of an almost comical loop. The damage in the second round began when Tyson knocked Berbick to the canvas with a series of punches culminating in a brutal left hook.
Get the idea now that Berbick doesn't pump that jab in the face. Tyson threw him. Tyson with the left. Trevor tries to work underneath. Tyson flips him with the left hand. Look at this combination. And Berbick winning the championship of the world. Trevor Berbick and Mike Tyson. Tyson goes to work right away, and he gets Trevor in trouble, and he's done. The former heavyweight champion fell back on the canvas, but quickly got up and signaled to referee Mills Lane that he was fine. In retrospect, Berbick wasn't. He proved it by trying to tie Mike up in clinches to slow him down. He even hit the powerful challenger on a break, earning him a fair warning from Lane. As if it were an irony, the end of the fight came at the end of the round when Tyson's powerful hook landed on the temple of a champion who was counting down the seconds. Berbick staggered toward the ropes near his corner and fell. He flailed his arms as he tried to right himself. He staggered back to where he had originally fallen in the center of the ring and fell again. He is holding off Mike with the left, and you see the light left hook by Mike in the right hand. Instead he goes to the body downstairs, catches him with the right hand upstairs. Mid-screen did. Bone crusher Smith. To the body. Wow, with that uppercut is Tyson. Catches him with the right left hook, and he goes down. As Trevor Berbick falls back in the ropes, I don't know if he's going to be able to continue. He goes down. He should be able to get up from this. His legs may be shut down.
Once again, in great agony, he tried to get to his feet, stumbling toward a neutral corner. By then, Lane's count had reached 9, and Berbick had managed to get up from the canvas. After a quick glance, the referee had no choice but to hug him and end the fight. Mike Tyson made history by becoming the youngest heavyweight champion in the world, and how? Mike Tyson versus Pinklon Thomas. By May 30th, 1987, Tyson was already a confirmed champion with a pair of successful defenses under his belt. There was no one on earth who could question his prowess. However, daring challengers continued to line up, attempting not only to take away his undefeated status, but also to steal his titles. In the ring of the outdoor arena at the Las Vegas Hilton, Pinklon Thomas pursued the World Boxing Council and World Boxing Association heavyweight titles. And, indeed, he only managed to achieve that goal. The end came after a fast and furious first round by Tyson that was shut down by Thomas, who resorted to striking and grappling tactics that left Mike fumbling for a way out from under his challenger's grasp. For Mike, the answer came abruptly in the 6th round. He hurt Thomas with a right to the body, quickly followed by a right uppercut to the chin, a sequence of punches that, at the time, was one of his favorites due to the level of damage he inflicted with them.
And the key to winning is do it your way. There was a big uppercut by Tyson.
Ultimately, it was a left hook to the head that left the nicknamed Pink Man in serious trouble. After the connection, Pinklon staggered backward with Tyson still in close pursuit. Mike decided it was time to let go and attacked him left and right until he fell back on the canvas.
And a left. Now Tyson moves in for the kill. 2 uppercuts in the left hand. Thomas trying to hold on. And a right hand behind it. Thomas in trouble again. Serious trouble. And down he goes.
His eyes were glassy and blood was running down his face. Referee Carlos Padilla, noticing this, quickly began the safety count. By the time he reached 9, Thomas's trainer, Angelo Dundee, had already entered the ring to express his desperate desire for the fight to end. Mike Tyson versus Tyrell Biggs Mike's fights continued successfully, and by the time he stepped into the ring at the Atlantic City Convention Center, he was not only the World Boxing Council and World Boxing Association heavyweight champion, but also the International Boxing Federation heavyweight champion. With a clean professional record of 31 victories, 27 of them achieved by hard knockout, it seemed that there was no challenger who was up to the task. However, Tyrell Biggs, a rising star with an undefeated record of 15 victories, 10 of them by knockout, threatened to steal his crown. Biggs and Tyson had a history, as when Tyson was denied the opportunity to represent the United States in the 1984 Olympics, for being too short, Biggs took his place and brought home the gold medal. Perhaps nothing would have happened if Biggs hadn't publicly mocked the young, still rookie Mike Tyson's broken dream, or hadn't dug his finger in the wound by claiming that he knew him from behind, and that he wasn't really as strong as they tried to make him out to be. After 6 tough rounds that were better watched than heard, the end came for Biggs in the 7th. Without a doubt, this was one of the Iron Boy's sweetest and most personal victories. Mike Tyson versus Tony Tubbs. Tony Tubbs went down in the golden pages of boxing history as another of the brave but clumsy challengers who claimed Tyson's titles. His turn came on March 21, 1988, in the ring at the Tokyo Dome in Japan. His professional record of 24 wins, 15 of them by knockout and 1 loss, made it clear that he was just a modest fighter trying his luck against the beast of the moment. Unfortunately for him, no 4-leaf clover was found in the ring that fateful night. In the first round, Tubbs traded blows with Tyson and weakened the champion's attacks with jabs and quick combinations. But the challenger, who looked limp, barely moved, fighting flat-footed.
You can begin to see the startling hand quickness that Tubbs brings.
Well, here with Tubbs, the uppercut out.
Tyson missed with the left.
In the second inning, the fight seemed to continue along the lines of the first, however. When the level of pressure exerted by Mike's offense began to increase, Tubbs came up with no other solution than to bet on the hook. He tried jabs that proved unable to stop the champion of the night, who seemingly easily escaped his challenger's most powerful blows. Tyson repeatedly launched himself at Tubbs's sturdy frame, emerging from the hooks with lethal uppercuts to the abdomen. Then, as the round drew to a close, Mike's punches began to take effect. Tyson trapped Tubbs against the ropes, causing him to collapse after a succession of direct blows to his abdomen. It was evident that the challenger had been hurt. From that moment on, Tubbs and Mike danced a deadly dance that no one could describe better than your own eyes.
There's a right hand, Jim, I spoke earlier about. Hands must steer his opponent. Good left hook, good combination. Open up.
Good left by Tyson. Tubbs reeled. 30 Tubbs is hurt. Tubbs is hurt badly.
Mike Tyson versus Michael Spinks. Tyson's ring violence reached its peak on the night of June 22, 1988, when, in the ring at the Atlantic City Convention Center in New Jersey, he faced another heavyweight champion, none other than Mr. Michael Spinks. Spinks had one mission: to defend his Ring Magazine title for the fourth time, the final jewel missing for Tyson to become the undisputed champion. Without further ado, let's embark on a true duel of boxing royalty. Spinks had been warned before the fight not to match Mike with strength for strength. However, during the fight, he seemed more interested in clinging to Tyson's body than getting out of his range. This was his biggest mistake.
But Tyson walks right through it. Tyson showing no fear. No. Land a vicious left hook and then a right hand. All the way here in round number 1. But he's taking them. The uppercut. Body shot. Over. Mike Tyson.
If you've made it this far, thank you. Remember, there's no better way to support my content than by liking the video. Did you know about these Iron Mike Tyson matches? Do you have any of them on your list of favorite fights of the youngest heavyweight champion in history? Which other fighter would you like to see him face off against in a sequel to this video? Now it's time for you to leave your opinion in the comments box. Thank you for joining us on this crazy journey of destruction.